This is the sandstone quarry area here at Red Rock Canyon. It's outside of Las Vegas. Thoughts from the trail, volume 2. So I've been thinking about being patient and not wanting to taking that wait and see approach. First of all, have to coin the term Biden Derangement Syndrome, BDS. Don't let it happen to you. That'd be my advice. Again, this is the assuming that January 20th comes and goes and Biden's 46. Over the next 4 years, obviously you're going to see the love fest happen and the media telling us how great it is under Biden and camel toe once she takes over. Given that, I think it's important to, for those individuals on the right, to make sure you don't have BDS. Because the forces against individuals on the right are pretty strong. And actually, a thought just hit me. I wonder if, it's just a thought, I wonder if now that Trump looks like he's out, and if it does happen that he's out, first of all, you may see him again in 2024, because who else would bring that kind of energy like that, right? Who else would bring the movement? You can say all these things about what he didn't do, but the drain the swamp movement, this and that, kind of having a candidate who isn't establishment. And it's kind of funny, I heard Michelle talking about people voting against the status quo, and I found that hilarious, because he's called Status Quo Joe for a reason. The establishment is the status quo. Anything that isn't the establishment, that's what we had for 4 years. But it shows you the powers that be, kind of how they treat individuals that are from the outside. So I was just thinking, what if I were to run? What if I were to run as a Republican? Would they trash me as well? Even if I didn't say anything? Obviously, Donnie stuck his foot in his mouth way too many times. But I was thinking, what if I ran? Would I get the same kind of hatred? Because I always say about things that you can't really go back. It's hard to rein things back in. So now that the propaganda machine saw what they could do to defeat a Republican, is it just a Trump thing? Or will this be kind of the way the media plays it, this heightened way they play it, over the next 4 years and going forward forever? I think a good indication will be with whatever happens in Georgia with those runoffs, and I alluded to that yesterday. Just whatever happens there, how the media plays that and portrays that will be a good indication of how things are going to be going forward for the actual resistance. And we're talking about resisting the establishment, which I always thought was cute when people thought they were resisting, but they were just going for the status quo, the establishment. It's not really hard to fall in line with the establishment, which is what those resist types ultimately did in the end. But getting back to it, I'm willing to be patient, give it a chance. I know a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are still out there fighting the fight, and there's some videos I need to catch up on. I just don't know enough about the legal challenges that are out there right now, and how people are talking about instances of fraud and everything. I just don't know enough about what those instances are. I've looked into a couple, so I can't really speak on that, but with all these videos I'm making on the road, it's just operating under the assumption that on January 20th that Biden's the guy and corn pops there next to him at inauguration. And I want to, regardless of who won, because as I said, I voted for neither, but regardless of who won, I always want to keep things in perspective. I don't want to assume the worst. I don't want to assume everything that I heard and saw the last 6 months, which I'd be stupid not to believe what I saw with my own eyes, but I don't want to believe that that's how things are going to be going forward. I'm willing to give it a chance. And again, if he's inaugurated, then I hope that you individuals on the right will be the same. That doesn't mean the fight stops, because we never stop fighting the establishment. We never stop fighting the status quo. Never. And I think that is what the last 4 years have taught us, that the fight is strong, it's hard, it's long, and maybe we didn't even make a dent. But that doesn't mean we give up. And for me, the fight just begins. It was beginning way back then, it's still going on now. But I'm willing to see what is in store. As I talked about a couple days ago, there's already some policies that have come out. But I'm willing to wait and see. And ultimately, for me, hey, I'll catch heat from the right, I know it. Still love you guys, though. But regardless of who's in there, as long as we're succeeding, and I haven't been succeeding. Amazon's down 9% the last 2 days, so F you, whoever caused that. But as long as people are safe, secure, successful, having good jobs, that's all I care about in the end. We all have our different ideas about how we get there. But as long as whoever's in there is putting Americans first and not dicking us over, then I'd be happy. But when have we had that in our history for extended periods of time, right? We've always been getting sold out. Trades, jobs overseas, immigration, taking jobs away from Americans, wages stagnant, housing prices, healthcare. There's 50 million things you can point at to where we've always been getting the short end of the stick. So I'm always hopeful. That's just me. I'm just trying to be hopeful with all of this stuff. Regardless of who's in there, I'm always trying to be hopeful. So I'm taking the wait and see approach. But hopefully you all do the same, and don't get BDS. Don't let those losers on that side use that on you, because they're going to want to break that term out. But you heard it here first, remember. So thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching this. Take care, everybody. Be well. And if you're ever out in the Vegas area, go out to Red Rock Canyon. They've got tons of trails, infinite ways you can go climb up on some boulders. Be well, everyone.